Hi, I'm Christine Weber. Welcome to my weekly live stream. It's really nice to have you here. I love supporting mature yoga teachers as they get their wisdom out into the world. And today I'm going to talk about chair yoga and the vagus nerve, why you should be teaching chair yoga if you're a yoga teacher, if you want to. I'll tell you all the reasons why, and also why teaching about the vagus nerve is really helpful too. So the first thing I want to say is that the first thing I want to tell you is that I was at a meditation retreat over the weekend, and I met this lovely older Indian gentleman. He said, "Oh, you're a yoga teacher?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "I love chair yoga." It's like, that's awesome. So we bonded over chair yoga. He's like, "Do you teach chair yoga?" And I was like, "Yeah, I teach chair yoga. I love chair yoga." And he said, "It's so good." He probably was like in his maybe late 70s, early 80s. And he said, "It's so good for me because I can't do a lot of those yoga poses anymore. But when I do chair yoga, I feel like I'm doing something. It makes me feel stretched out, and I don't feel as achy, and I feel like I'm doing yoga." So I was like, sweet. Obviously he's somebody who's been meditating and doing yoga postures for a long time. So that was really inspiring for me, and it made me feel really good because we have been planning this chair yoga for the vagus nerve and beyond workshop for quite a while now, and it's finally ready. Well, the workshop's going to be live actually in October, but the information is ready. So if you're interested in the information, check in the description if you're on YouTube or I guess you're on Facebook and YouTube. Yeah, it's in the description, and you can find the link. And if you can't find the link, just feel free to reach out to us, support@subtleyoga.com, and we'll send it to you so you can look about it. And the other thing I'm really excited about is this is the first course where we have been able to get CEUs for mental health professionals. Now, I can't say it's for every single mental health professional, but for many, you will be able to get CEUs for this course. I think it's 10 CEUs that we're offering. We're still kind of working out all the details with that, but we're really excited about it because this is something that can easily be integrated into a clinical setting as well. And that's something I've been teaching since 2009 at the University of North Carolina Health Sciences here in Nashville at the Mountain Area Health Education Center. I've been teaching how to integrate chair yoga into clinical sessions to therapists for 16 years now. So I'm really excited that we finally are getting CEUs for it. Now, let me tell you a couple of things. If you're a yoga professional, this course is definitely for you. And with yoga professionals, you also will get CEUs. But I want to talk about chair yoga. If you're not teaching chair yoga, my question is why? Because it is the most popular kind of yoga right now. Google shows that between 2018 and now, there's been a 600% increase in interest and people searching for chair yoga online. It's really exciting. And what you offer beyond just like watching some random chair yoga video on YouTube is the relational part. And that's also happening right now. That's also a big trend right now. I keep up with all the trends in the fitness and wellness industry, well, as many as I can. And one of the things that a lot of the people who watch the trends are saying is that people want that personal experience. They want that experience of one-on-one. They want something authentic, and they want things that will help them to take care of their health. And chair yoga just fits that bill so beautifully and so perfectly. So yes, there's like, people are always like, "Oh, there's too much yoga all over the internet." Yeah, there's a lot of yoga on the internet, but what there isn't a lot on the internet is you in person with your people, or you on Zoom with your people, right? That can be a very healing relationship too. It doesn't have to be in your yoga studio or in your basement or whatever. It can be on Zoom too. So, however it's working for you, however you like to connect with your students, I highly recommend adding a chair yoga class to whatever you're teaching, because it is really hot right now. Chair yoga is really happening. The other thing that's really hot right now, of course, is the vagus nerve. It's huge. Oh my goodness. So it's all over Instagram. It's all over Facebook. It's like all these different things, all over YouTube, all these different things you can do to massage your ears for your vagus nerve, and different movements you should be doing for your vagus nerve, blah, blah, blah. And all of that is fine. And if you are a yoga professional, let me just say one thing here. If you know how to teach breathing practices and you're good at it, that's the most important thing you can do for the vagus nerve, like much more than massaging your ears. And we have to come out as a yoga community and be like, hey, this is what we've been doing forever. Like you are the expert in teaching for the vagus nerve, much more so than anybody else out there. You know, even Andrew Huberman, I hear Andrew Huberman and he's always like, the physiologic sigh. I'm like, oh God. Like, okay, that's fine. But that is not the same thing as understanding the intricacies and being able to work with people personally to help them unravel their breathing, their dysfunctional breathing patterns, and help them to learn breathing that actually helps them to calm down, because everybody's a little bit different. So it's not like you can just dump the physiologic sigh and everybody's going to do better from it. Plus, if you're teaching yoga and people are coming to your classes once or twice a week, they are affecting neuroplasticity over time. It's different than just here is this, you know, here's this thing that you do once because you learned it on TikTok. You know, it's a much different experience. So you have the authenticity, you have the background, you have the expertise, you have the techniques to actually help people make real changes in their lives, which is really different than sort of the AI slop that's out there right now. So the vagus nerve is important. We're going to be talking about that in the workshop for sure. And we'll talk about polyvagal theory. But the human being is not just one nerve, right? You are a nerve, but you have that nerve, the vagus nerve. But then you also have the myofascia, which is so important for the movement of signaling, nervous system signaling and chemical signaling and biofield signaling throughout your whole system. So what chair yoga does for people is free up some space, free up some of that myofascia so that things can easily flow. So that's also very important. You're not just physiology, although the physiology of the nervous system goes way beyond the vagus nerve to what I was just talking about, like with fascia. The neuroendocrine immune system is really important, signaling for not only for all our health, but also for physical health, but also for mental health. There's non-vagal parasympathetic pathways as well, like in the sacrum. And we do a lot of stuff in the sacroiliac and low back area that is helpful to stimulate the vagus nerve, or to stimulate the parasympathetic rather. And then there's also things like we work with posture, and we work with things like exteroception and proprioception and interoception. Some of those are intersecting with the vagus nerve, some are not. So physiologically, and then you've got the enteric nervous system, the gut brain, and you know, there's all this stuff going on physiologically that's not just one nerve, right? So we can offer practices for all of ourselves physiologically. And then also human beings are not just a body, right? We're also a mind. So yoga is very much a mind-body practice. We also, many of us understand the concept of higher self or spirit. And yoga very much can help people to leverage their spirituality, as well as build a sense of community, as well as to deepen a sense of meaning and purpose and connection and interdependence, so many things that people are seeking right now. So beyond the vagus nerve, we're not just going to stop with the vagus nerve. We're going to talk about how yoga supports beyond the vagus nerve, especially chair yoga. And, you know, we're living in these times when people are feeling really stressed out, more so than usual, really uncertain about the future. And so we can offer folks a way to self-regulate, a way to feel a greater sense of agency. And yoga is low risk and it's affordable, it's low cost. You can deliver it in groups. You can deliver it at various institutions. It's not just for older people, it's also for people who have desk jobs. So there's a lot of reasons for people to do chair yoga throughout the day. And you're the best person to teach that. So if you're not teaching chair yoga right now, I highly recommend you start teaching it, because it is really where the interest is. As the baby boomers age, they're looking for things to feel more comfortable in their bodies, and chair yoga is fantastic for that. And as people get stuck in desk jobs and they feel like they're on the computer for 10 hours and they can't move, they're not moving much. Chair yoga is for those people. You can do chair yoga in institutional settings where people are sitting a lot, like in schools. There's so many different applications for it. And it's a little more safe feeling because you're not, getting up and doing down dog and things where you might feel like a little either emotionally unsafe or physically unsafe. Now, the other thing I want to tell you about this course that we're having is that this is the first time we have applied for and received CEUs for folks who are in the mental health profession. Now, it's not for everybody. You're going to have to check, but we can help you with that. So if you're curious about this course and you want to get CEUs for it, of course, the yoga professionals get it. We give it to yoga teachers as well as yoga therapists. But if you want to get CEUs as a mental health person, check in with us because that is also possible now. We're so excited about it, and we can show you how we're doing that. So all the information is ready on the website. And if you don't find the link, I put it in the description. But if you don't find the link, just send us an email, support@subtleyoga.com, so we can help you with that. I want to say one more thing before I go. I've been teaching yoga since 1995, and every time there is some kind of big issue going on, either with politics or disasters or wars or whatever, every time in the past 30 years that has happened to me, what I've seen is a little bit of a down tick or a lack of interest by my students or lack of coming to classes from my students right as that disaster kind of thing happens, right? And it can feel really scary as a yoga teacher, and you can feel like, how am I going to make a living? And what has happened every single time, and I remember this particularly from 2018, but every single time, and also from 2020, as soon as things feel like, okay, I've survived, I'm surviving, that's when there's a huge interest, a huge uptick in the interest in yoga. And the reason is because people are looking for ways. They're like, okay, we're in a crisis. This is difficult. I don't know how long this is going to go on, but I still have to get up in the morning. I still have to go to work. I still have to feed my family. I still have to water the plants. I still have to feed the dog. I still have to live my life. And I need ways to help me do that. And that's where I think yoga really shines. So again, if you're not teaching chair yoga, I highly recommend start offering it. And I highly recommend you check out my brand new course, Chair Yoga for the Vagus Nerve and Beyond. Thank you so much for being here today and watching my live stream. Please leave a comment. I'll see you next week. Take care.